Massaman curry is one of Thailand's most popular and well-known curries. It has Thai, Malay and Indian influences. It's got plenty of spices in it and therefore it's really very popular in India. It's a bronze, beautiful color curry. I'm going to show you how to make the vegetarian version of this. While I'm not vegetarian and I use shrimp paste, I will give you options for what you can use instead. Massaman curry has three components to it. You have the dried spices, you have the wet herbs and spices, and then you have all the additions to the gravy or the curry itself. So let's start off with the dried spices. You will need star anise, cinnamon sticks, coriander dried, cumin dried. You will also need some green cardamom as well as a black cardamom. You will need some cloves, a few black peppercorns here. I also use dried red Bedgi chillies. Right? These dried red Bedgi chillies are the closest I'm able to find to Thai chilies. Now, Massaman curry is not spicy, but I also add a fresh red chili to it. This is a Bangkok chili which is available at some sellers in Mumbai. If you don't have access to this, you can use just a regular red chili or get one small Thai bird chili. Into this is also going to go an ingredient that I like to add, which is crispy fried onions. This gives a lovely richness, smokiness and color to the mustard. I'm also going to be using some javitri or mace. This brings a lovely sweet smokiness to the curry. Ingredients such as palm sugar. You can use jaggery cubes also if you like. Now, the wet ingredients. I'm going to be using some kaffir lime leaves. You can also use the zest of the kaffir lemon. I'm going to be using shred up galangal. This is a kind of rhizome which looks a lot like ginger but very perfumey and very important to Thai cuisine. I'm going to be using green onions because I don't have shallots. I'm also going to use plenty of garlic cloves. Into this is going to go coconut milk. You want to buy a full fat creamy coconut milk, some tamarind paste, and another important ingredient which is shrimp paste. Now, if you're making this curry entirely vegetarian, then you want to make sure that you get yourself something that's a very good substitute. I would recommend miso, fermented bamboo paste, vegan fish sauce, lots of different options. Gravy, I'm going to be adding potatoes. I'm going to add some pumpkin which has been peeled and cut, and lots of fried cashew nuts. Some people use peanuts, which I personally don't like. Fry the cashew nuts until they're golden, then strain and reserve them. Using a paper towel, just wipe the same pan clean and begin roasting all the woody spices first. These take longer to roast, therefore you do them before you do the cumin as well as the coriander. So toast these for about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe even 5 on a medium flame. Keep stirring them. You want them to turn sort of golden and aromatic. Don't overcook them either. Once they're toasty and aromatic, add your cumin and coriander. The coriander will change color a little bit. Now allow the spices to cool. While it's cooling, you make your wet masala component with your garlic, galangal, your shallots. You want to grind these to a smooth paste. You can add a little coconut milk to facilitate the grinding, but don't add too much water to this because it just takes much longer to cook when you have so much water in the masala. Now, once your whole spices have cooled, grind them to a smooth powder. This is very, very important. You must grind this to a very fine powder. There can be no gritty bits, no fibers in it. If you're not confident, add a little bit of coconut milk to this and keep grinding it into a smooth paste. Sometimes grinding something into a paste gives you a smoother result than a powder. Now add your fried onions to the wet masala and add all the ground dried masala to it as well, and grind this into a smooth chutney like paste. Again, it should not be gritty, it should be very smooth. Take it out into the bowl. You'll need most of this for your curry. Look at the dark bronze color. Now, as you cook it, it's going to darken in color. And this is important because once you add coconut milk, it starts to lighten the Massaman curry paste. A very critical part of cooking this is to make sure that the oil releases from the sides of the masala. Add your shrimp paste or miso paste or your fermented bamboo paste at this point and keep cooking it. Allow all the flavors to come together. You will need maybe to add a little bit more oil along the way, but a classic Thai technique which I was taught when I was learning this recipe in Thailand is to add few tablespoons of coconut milk to the masala and allow the fat in the coconut milk to grease the masala and to cook it. This way, you don't water the masala down too much and you don't make it too oily by adding too much oil to the masala. This needs to be done with approximately 3/4 cup of coconut milk in repeated processes. Once oil starts leaving the sides, add the kaffir lime leaves or the kaffir lime zest and cook this for a little bit. Now add your chopped pumpkin, add your potatoes. You can add your potatoes first if you know they're old potatoes, they take longer to cook. Now add the remainder of your coconut milk. Lower the flame and allow this to cook for a while for all the flavors to come together, for the potatoes and the pumpkin to absorb the flavors of the gravy. Add your tej patta, add your tamarind paste at this time too. If you're using baby corn, add it a little bit later because it cooks very quickly compared to potatoes and pumpkin. Now add some water and continue to cook your masala. This is important because your masala has to have a deep bronze and velvety texture. Now, how thick or thin you want your curry is entirely up to you. I add the cashews when I'm very close to the end process. I think as a vegetarian curry, it tastes better creamier, but it's entirely up to you. Serve this with plain boiled white jasmine rice. It makes a difference serving this with jasmine rice versus any regular rice. It's absolutely delicious. It's creamy. It's got so many complex flavors. Some people like to add fried tofu to this, which is also good. I hope you try making this and let me know how it turned out. Enjoy your Massaman curry.